Hello, I got a new toy in the mail, so you're always gonna see me with this little guy. Isn't this amazing? This is amazing. I am in love, love, love with this wind chime. So just to change the energy, change the frequency, I like to use sound. Today's topic is spiritual business. What is the third, fourth, and fifth dimension point of view on spiritual businesses? I'm actually going to talk just about businesses, but I'm going to focus on, I got to put the little girl down. I'm going to focus on spiritual businesses because it's like, first of all, I love, love, love business. I am just huge, like that excites me. Creating businesses, starting businesses, building businesses, watching businesses grow and explode. That just sings to me. That makes my heart so happy. So over the years, I've always been a business owner. I've never had a full-time job. Aren't I lucky? So I've always been a business owner. I was raised with entrepreneurs. Luckily, it's just something that's just been in my reality my whole life. So what is the difference between the third, fourth, and fifth dimension? I can really speak on this because I had businesses when I was totally 3D, when I was totally unaware, totally was highly influenced, easily controlled, easily manipulated, right, by the collective consciousness. I had no awareness that there's more to the story, or there's more consciousness or more information available. So I've started many businesses in the third dimension and used the 3D reality the whole time for those businesses. So overall, what are some of the differences between if you're having a business or running a business or choosing to ebb and flow in and out of different dimensions? Like, how can you use the dimensional space to support you, to help you grow your business, to help you build your business, or to help you receive more success in an easy way? Let's review what's the difference between third, fourth, and fifth dimension. The third dimension we know is polarity. It's duality. It is judgment. It is right or wrong. There's one way to run a business. There's a wrong way to run a business. There's a right way to do marketing. There's a wrong way to do marketing, right? So 3D will have a point of view and have strong judgments and strong beliefs. 3D is also based on hard work, self-discipline. You force yourself to do something. You do your consistent practice every day, no matter what. It's a hard, tough mentality point of view. Motivation from grit, motivation because you're just strong, and no matter what, you're gonna do it. Whereas 5D, right? 5D, we know no judgment anymore, no right or wrong way to do business. Multiple paths can lead to success. Multiple paths can lead to your highest excitement. In the fifth dimension, in 5D or spiral reality, as I call it, or the multidimensional space, there is just that space and allowance to know there's so many ways and so many co-creators that can co-create with us to build the business or the brand. And in that space, there is inspired action. There is inspired ideas. There's not that force. There's not that fear that it's not going to work out. So you're forcing yourself to do something. You have to do this. You have to do that. When you're operating your business from a knowing, a certainty, a clarity, you allow the space and you trust what is most exciting to you is going to serve you and benefit you. So if you're not inspired to force yourself to do something, you have that active self-care, self-kindness, and you don't force yourself, and you definitely don't beat yourself up, right? You're not a critic to yourself because you don't have judgment. First of all, time is irrelevant. There is no such thing as time. Everything is only happening now. So there's no like anxiety that you've got to get this building or this business up and running in 6 months or 3 months, or if it's not where you think it should be in 1 year, that means you failed. That's a 3D point of view, right? That's a set point of view with a set answer to this is how it has to be, period. When you're in your multidimensional mindset, when you're in your multidimensional business consciousness, you have trust, and you know, like, maybe the seeds that I'm planting today, maybe I'm inspired to plant them, maybe I'm inspired to start this business, maybe I'm inspired to write this blog, to create this video, but maybe this is for the future. Maybe the collective consciousness isn't going to be ready for this video for 3 years. So maybe it's going to look like this video didn't really have any results, that this video or this blog or this inspired business didn't really go anywhere. But you trust, you know, that if it was my highest excitement, if my heart really like felt like, yes, 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 I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to put my energy, I want to put my focus, I want to put my inspired action here. You trust there's a reason that it's happening, and you don't need to measure it the way you measure in 3D. In the third dimension, we measure things very different, right? Because we've got judgment, we've got a point of view, we've got set definitions on what things mean. In the third dimension, right, your money can be, if your profit is this much, that means you're a success, for example. Or if your followers are this many, that means you're a success, for example. Doesn't matter what the belief is, but you have a set belief that this is what it means, and that's it, right? There's no wiggle room. So just to run a business, most business owners, myself as a business owner, I have multiple businesses, and I ebb and flow in out of third, fourth, and fifth dimension in my businesses. And I can see when I'm doing that. When I go to worry, like I have a challenge, I'll look at it as a challenge when I'm in the third dimension. When something shows up that irritates me and I'm frustrated and dang it, and I have to do this and I have to do that, that's just an indicator to me that I'm managing that business from the third dimension. I see it as a challenge, not an opportunity. I see it as a frustration, not as, oh, this is here for some growth. I'm going to learn something from this, or maybe this is going to introduce me to somebody new that I'm meant to co-create with for the next level. Like, I don't necessarily, I can lose my belief. My belief is life is happening for me. But when I start to get into my businesses and I start to function from the third dimension, I can start to be like, this happened. Right? I don't know if you have a business or if you manage any people in your businesses, but the more people that are involved in the business, the more opportunities there are for, some would call them challenges, other people will call them opportunities. I call them both things depending on my state of being, depending on which consciousness I am operating from. So when I was making the video about debt, I just kept making reference to spiritual business, and I didn't know why, but I got the download that people that are attracted to this type of information, people that have signed up for this course, they maybe already have a spiritual business, or maybe you are getting the hit or the idea that you would like to start and develop a spiritual business. But I was receiving the information multidimensionally that spiritual business consciousness wanted a platform, wanted a space for information to be shared, to be co-created with others. And when you're in the fifth dimension, right? So I'm making that video for my 5D multidimensional self. When I make videos, I access my multidimensional self. So I communicate from my multidimensional self. So when I am in that stream, in that awareness, in that consciousness that I'm communicating, accessing, experiencing, feeling, knowing, being my 5D multidimensional self, I can instantly get these hits and downloads. And I know from my own experience that my businesses have a consciousness and they have information, they have data. So I'm going to tell you a story. So I used to play this game where I would access my multidimensional self, and then I would call in a guest visitor. I did this every day. I'd call in a guest visitor, so I'd put myself in that state, I'd open the door, and whoever the guest visitor was, they would share or show something to me that was information or a benefit or a value. It was a co-creation. It was a game I played as I was learning to communicate with different consciousnesses. So I did the game one day, and I opened the door, and it was my massage therapy business. I own some massage therapy businesses. Now this is maybe, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. No, maybe about 11 years ago. So I opened the door, and it's my business. And I said, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You can't be here. This is a game with me and consciousnesses. And then my business was like, we are a consciousness. And I'm like, no, you're not. I own you. Like, I'm the boss of you. You're not a consciousness. And my business said, no. You've misunderstood. You've misunderstood this business. And at that point, my business had started in 1996. So this is like 2011. So my business, I had my business for a long period of time when my business consciousness showed up during this game. And then I'm like, oh, like I was so, like it was such an aha shock because I was functioning in the fourth dimension. And in the fourth dimension, there's still the hierarchy program, and there's still the I'm the boss over you, or I'm superior over you. So I had left the 3D, not always, because, you know, we could ebb and flow in and out of 3D, 4D, but I was at the fourth dimension at that point, and I had the point of view that I was the boss. I was the superior one. I created the business, therefore I am the boss, therefore my business did not get a seat at the table because I'm the boss. I make the decisions. So my business, that's how consciousness works. If you're willing to listen, consciousness will start to communicate and educate you and give you data, and then you can choose to do what you want with it. But my business showed up, and my business not only showed up with a point of view, the point of view was so good and it was so beneficial that I couldn't deny. Because my human self would not have come up with what the business shared with me. And then over the years, my business, sometimes when I get stuck, one of the things I'll do is I'll go ask my business, like, what's wrong? Do you want me to sell you? Why are we stuck? Why isn't this moving? Why aren't we growing? Like, what's going on? Whatever. And my business will show me why we're stuck. And usually it's something that I could do to improve on. Usually it's me. Usually it's because I've gotten stuck in the third dimension where I'm in a place of judgment, right? And I'm judging either the customers or I'm judging staff. But usually the reason we're not growing has a lot to do with me. And it kind of excites me in the sense that I always like receiving proof and evidence that I am communicating with an intelligence, with a consciousness, because it would be things that I personally wouldn't come up with. So that was kind of a long story, but that shows you, if you're thinking about starting a spiritual business, starting a multidimensional business, or you already have one of the tools, one of the things you can do to assist and support you is to communicate with the consciousness of that business or that potential business. So you can communicate and say, maybe you want to start, I don't know what you want to start. I'm going to make up maybe you want to start a sound therapy business, right? Your body loves sound. You don't have any official training, but you just know, like, somehow your body loves it. Somehow you know what to do when you get these different instruments in you, or maybe you do light language, or maybe you do some kind of thing with your voice, and you just have this knowing that this service, that what you have to offer could be a huge contribution, but you don't know how do you start it, what do you do with it. So you can start to communicate with the sound therapy, I'm going to label it the sound therapy consciousness, and say, hey, I feel like this could be a collaborative, co-creative business that could be of service to our community or to people in the local area. Like, can you show me, can you bring people to me that could help me? Hey, maybe I'm the person that's coming to you to give you these ideas. But that's how it works. So you can start to communicate with it and ask for what it is that you need. So if you need more resources to how to get it going, or you need more confidence that you are a person that can do this, or maybe you need maybe you want to do it with some other people. You don't want to just do this on your own. Maybe that's what you ask for. But you ask open-ended questions. Remember, the fastest way to get into your multidimensional frequency is to ask an open-ended question, and then allow the space, allow the room to present the answer. Because in our multidimensionality, the second you ask the question does not mean you get the answer at that now moment. In 3D, we expect a question, then an answer. In 3D, we want it logical, linear, ask the question, here's the answer. But when you go multidimensional, you ask the open-ended question, and then you trust, and you allow the space for the answer to land in your field. And the answer can come to you through dream time. The answer can come to you through just a knowing. The answer can come to you through a book somebody gives you in a week. The answer can come to you from a video you watch in a month. It's not a linear process. And then when you trust that, when you trust that the field is here for you and is here to serve you and here to help you expand on what makes your heart sing, helps you to do the thing that makes your heart sing, then you have, I don't like the word patience, you have the trust that you believe in the divine timing of it. And you don't the field left me behind because I wanted to get this started by August 1st and it's already this day, and is this going to happen by August 1st? Or, right, that would be a 3D thing, because you've got your black and white, this is how it has to look, set definitions, versus your multidimensional self doesn't function that way, doesn't have scarcity or anxiousness about time. The other thing people will talk about, and that I could hear when I was talking about the other course, is money. Can multidimensional businesses, can any business that you feel inspired to start, or that your heart wants to start, or you want to collaborate on, can you make a lot of money? So first of all, we want to go in, do you have a set point of view about businesses? And if you do have a set point of view about money and profit with business, what would that indicate? Again, that's going to indicate a set point of view. 3D equals set point of view, a definite point of view, a right or a wrong, a judgmental point of view. It's just an indicator that if that's what you are thinking or believing, it's just an indicator you're in the third dimension. And that's okay. No, there's nothing wrong with a third dimension. The fourth dimension might be, I want to do a spiritual business. I am aware that there's a lot of people awakening. There's a lot of ascension happening. I want to be a part of helping, supporting, assisting the grand awakening, the bringing the heaven on earth. So you have this big, broad vision, and you want to be of service, and you might judge that you can't make a living off of it because that would make you a non-spiritual person. And again, if you have a judgment that if you make a lot of money off it, you're a non-spiritual person, that's just an indicator you're in the third or fourth dimension. You're still in the dimension of judgment. And that's okay. You don't have to change your point of view. You don't have to change your beliefs. If you don't need to. Some people have businesses from the fifth dimension and they don't have any charge on the money. They don't have any charge on how much money they have, or they don't have any charge